I love my country and I take the payment of tax very seriously.
A potential tax revolt is brewing in this East African country.
I will not pay this tax installment or any other taxes in the future until my MP and all other MPs pay their taxes.
At issue is the more than 600,000 shillings a month, or $7,500, each of the 222 elected members receive on top of their salaries. The allowances pay for housing, motor vehicles, travel, and other expenses. A poll conducted late last year by the Nation Media Group found that 90% of Kenyans surveyed said lawmakers' allowances should be taxed. The finding may not be surprising in a country where more than half of the population lives on less than $1 a day. Recent sharp price increases in maize flour and other staple foods have hit the poor especially hard. Mwalimu Mati heads the government watchdog Mars Group, which organized campaigns and demonstrations calling for allowances to be taxed.
If the MPs won't pay, then why should the poor pay taxes? And, we're saying unless they've got some sort of convincing reason, then let everybody have a tax break. Let's just call it quits as far as paying tax.
Now let's go to the next one.
Mati estimates that if allowances were to be taxed, some 600 million shillings or $7.5 million could be pumped into the public coffers to pay for education, health care, and other public services. Members of Parliament are taxed 53,000 shillings per month, or $663, on their basic salary of $2,500. They say they need the tax-free allowances to meet the many demands of their constituents.
Even the salaries we earn is not enough to cater for the needs of the individual people in the constituency. I can tell you most of the MPs have taken loans to be able to survive. Because every other morning when you're at home, you find about 50 to 100 people every other morning who needs help of one sort or the other.
Tax revenues collected by the Kenya Revenue Authority account for about 95% of total government revenue. But only a small portion comes from the personal income tax, as relatively few work in the formal sector. Instead, most of the money comes from a value-added tax that retailers levy on the purchase of goods. Watchdog Mati says he thinks retailers and customers are coming up with creative ways to avoid paying that tax. Kathy Maitani for VOA News, Nairobi.